Huh. Neat. Well, I've been wanting to check out the movie, so why not, I guess? Special thanks to Amazon Studios for hooking a brother up with a free screening to the movie and sponsoring today's episode. Imagine, if you will, a timeline, a reality, a different version of Earth, however you want to call it. But imagine, if you will, a different version of reality where, people like Santa Claus, Krampus, Jack Skellington, the Headless Horseman, Bigfoot, all these people, right? All of them actually exist, right? In some way, shape, or form. And they all physically exist, right? Not just on like a, metaphorical sense, but they all actually physically exist. Now imagine, if you will, right? Like that there is a organization that's a subsidiary of the government, that's attached to like the FBI, the CIA, the Federal Bureau, all these, places. Imagine if there was a special section of the government that was specifically put in charge to make sure that all the holidays that you know and love, like Halloween, Hanukkah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of them ran smoothly as planned with no issues or interference and just were on schedule, right? And imagine that each section, each person, each entity got their own paid like bodyguard and security, right? And like imagine for a moment that all of these entities, right, had these bodyguards that were like paid by the government as like just normal jobs, right? And that, people like Santa and Krampus and, Jack Skellington, all these people could go about their daily holiday business out in the public and still do their traditions just like everybody else, right? That alone would be a perfect concept for a movie. Would be a good plot. How does the bureaucracy of all this work? How does the system work? How was this founded? How did we find out that all these entities existed, right? Right? Well, that's used as a mere backdrop for an action comedy film, right? Also, this beard is not staying on. I apologize. But, like, imagine an action comedy film where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans, or Maui and Cap, have to go save James Jonah Jameson from being kidnapped. Because J.K. Simmons is Santa in this universe, which he does a great Santa, by the way. I, of course, am talking about Red One. Red One is an action comedy, Christmas, but also kind of just holiday movie, where basically it's a PG-13 sort of like Christmas film, right? Where just Santa's just doing his normal thing and getting ready for Christmas, and then he gets kidnapped via like some Fast and Furious movie plot, and then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's like, oh man, I've done this crap before. I've done like at least 8 films worth of this. I thought I would never leave the Fast and Furious franchise. But here he is kind of doing it again. But this time Captain America, aka Chris Evans, is involved. And he's like an ultimate like data hacker guy. And I don't know, he gets a gig one day from an anonymous source. And it pays really well. And, you know, he sends the guy the data. And the guy uses the data to break into the North Pole and kidnap Santa. And so now Chris Evans, aka not really the bad guy, but, you know, kind of an antagonist, gets tracked down by the federal government. And it's like, hey, listen, so it's your fault that Christmas might be canceled and Santa's been kidnapped by some jerk, and you need to go and team up with Santa's bodyguard to go and save his ass. That's the film. And it's just a action comedy film of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans just saving Christmas. But sprinkled in between that is all this world building that they really should have focused more on, of, hey, there's a whole bureaucracy system of how we make sure all the holidays, you know, run perfectly smoothly in place and like do all these things. And they actually like, we make sure that everything goes according to plan, and there's a system in place. And these entities exist. They just don't, you just don't normally see them through the normal human perspective, I guess. But they're alive, they're real in modern day. They're practically immortal gods. So yeah. I want that as a separate film. Not that this film wasn't good. It was funny. I enjoyed the comedy. I enjoyed all the, you know, action set pieces. I enjoyed a lot of the banter between, you know, Chris and Dwane. I enjoyed that Santa, you know, despite him being kidnapped for most of the film, also has a good sense of humor because of J.K. Simmons. I like the music. I like that the film's plot, well, its main plot is really about how, like, you know, even people who are considered, like, you know, bad guys or, you know, just complete jerkwads still can have a good heart to them despite the actions of what they do. And they, in fact, can wind up being on the nice list despite being on the naughty list for years and have a change of heart. But the change of heart isn't because they're, you know, they're jerks. It's because of the way they do things, which is kind of different compared to, say, like other holiday Christmas parody films. And it's kind of funny because with this one, it really just goes by so quick. This movie's only like an hour and a half long, maybe a little more with credits and stuff. And a lot of like famous people are in it that really make it funny. You've also got, like I say, J.K. Simmons, Chris Evans, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You got Lucy Liu, Nick Kroll in there, like an all-star cast. And this is an MGM Studios film too, which Amazon Studios owns MGM, so there's that. But like, it's just a fun film. That's really all it is to it. It's, you know, the plot is a little out, you know, I wouldn't say out there, but it's definitely a little different, but it has some notes of those, you know, classic cliche Hallmark, you know, Christmas feel-good movies, but with a more PG-13 comedy twist of like, oh, I don't give two, you know, rats of a crap about Christmas. I just care more about my kid, really, and, you know, trying to just live life. But, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character is all like, well, everybody, at some point can have a change of heart and be on the nice list. And I was really hoping you could as well, too. So, yeah, it's a change of heart film, but it does it, like I say, in a way that's like, I feel like it's earned for the short time that it has. And it's genuinely funny. Like, there was a couple scenes in this movie that made me laugh, especially if, like, the way they interact on the beach. There's some, like, snowmen creatures that come down on the beach, and they, like, attack them and all that. I'm not spoiling too much, but, like, it's a fun film. That's really all it is. It's a fun take on a Christmas film, a fun, goofier take on an action film, and a cheesy take on a comedy film, because this film does not take itself as serious as it should be because of all the, interactions and dialogue with it. So, yeah, it's fun. It's just fun for a short amount of time. That, yeah, there's nothing new that this film really adds other than, a little bit of back lore and commentary that is kind of interesting about the holidays, especially for people who don't believe in, Christmas, but have a change of heart and not necessarily start believing in the holiday, but more or less start believing in themselves, that they themselves can do good regardless of the holiday. So, and it's just fun. That's really all it is it's just fun. It's a good time. I mean, I know these reviews usually are supposed to be less than 10 minutes, but yeah, it's fun. I liked it. And Amazon was kind enough to actually send me to a special early screening of it for free. So that was super cool. So thank you, Amazon. And I just liked the film. I wouldn't say I would go out and buy it on 4K, like Blu-ray Steelbook exclusive at Target or Best Buy, but I mean, I'd probably buy it when it's on sale on Blu-ray for like a couple bucks or something, just to add to my collection. Throw on during the holiday season sometime, maybe buy it digitally. So, I'll throw a few bucks their way for it. So, plus, again, the movie's good because it also has not just a Christmas-focused story to it, but rather it also talks about Krampus a little bit. It talks about all, like, other different holiday deities a little bit. Again, all sorts of interesting stuff as a backdrop. My only complaint that I could really give about this film is that it just feels like certain scenes are definitely focused more on the comedy than the plot. And if you're looking for a very plot-heavy, like, holiday film, that's not what you're going to get with this. You're going to get more comedy first, plot second. And the only other complaint I guess I would have is, and this is more of a minor thing, I would have liked to see more of the world building in this film, just a smidge more, because I really like the concept of, like, oh yeah, no, Santa actually exists, and so does Krampus, and the Headless Horseman, and Bigfoot, and all these, deities, but we just sort of, like, make sure they just are protected and do their own thing. We want to make sure that normal society doesn't actually know that these people, like, exist. So, anyhow. Also, I had to get in the holiday spirit because, well, it's Chrysler time. It's Merry Toyota-thon, miss. It's Happy Honda Days. It's Merry Christmas. Ho 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 ho. So I know. That about does it. More holiday movie reviews possibly coming. So we got a few. But yeah. Special thanks to Amazon Studios for hooking a brother up with an early screening. So it was a fun film. I don't have many negatives. Just when you get a chance, go see it. It's still in theaters. If not, you do fine, honestly, if you rented it, or I don't know, it'll probably show up on Amazon Prime at some point. Watch it on Prime. It's fun. So, one actual slight minor nitpick as well too. I just remembered this. Weirdly enough, as weird as it's gonna sound, I was kind of also hoping that, like, there'd be a little more tongue-in-cheek humor. But a lot of the humor in this is more based on the absurd world of all this happening, rather than, like, jabs and references all the time. Which is a nice change of pace. I like that that's not what they were going for. But I was hoping to have a little more, like, like, kind of nudge, you were in this other film series type of humor. But I don't know. That just would have been a little bonus. Maybe it's in the deleted scenes or something, so who knows. But that's about it. More movie film reviews to come. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Chimbus. Bye.